Hey, Sarah here from Headout. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, welcome to the Rome Travel Guide. In this series, we run through everything you need to know for exploring the Eternal City. If you're interested in exploring Rome like a local, be sure to stay tuned. We'll be counting down the top 10 tips to help you explore the city at your own pace and not stick out like a sore thumb while doing so. Stay tuned. Tip number 1, and this is all about coffee culture. Take a coffee standing up at a bar. First off, Italian coffee. It's rich, it's intense, and it has an entire culture of its own. It's a little bit ironic if you think about it. Italians, they're very laid back. They do everything slowly. The exception is coffee culture. In fact, it's probably the one thing that Italians do that's fast-paced. If you go to a bar, the best thing you can do is head to the barista, order your coffee at the casa, and then go up to the bar and hand over your receipt. Not only is this going to be a little bit quicker, but you'll also find that you're avoiding those hefty service charges that come with sitting down at a table. Nothing screams tourist like sitting down and having your coffee outside. We're going to be running down how to pick the best restaurant, or more importantly, how to avoid those stereotypical tourist traps. There's two main things to look out for when you are choosing a restaurant. The first is avoid eating at restaurants with a view. Now, disclaimer here, I'm not talking about the panoramic views of the Colosseum where you have a Michelin-star restaurant. Obviously, that food is hella bomb. But I'm talking about your standard trattorias and osterias. Anything in that average medium price point. The closer you are to a main attraction, the higher you're going to see the price inflation and the less quality you're going to get as a general rule of thumb. The best way you can spot a tourist trap is if you're at a location, the prices are inflated, and someone is asking you and inviting you to come and sit down. So if you find yourself near a main attraction, try and go down the side streets, take that 5 minutes to walk down a different corner, and go to a cozy restaurant where less people are passing by. You'll find the quality is better, and the price is probably not going to bait the bank either. Staying on the topic of food, this brings us to top tip number 3, all about how you spot the authentic gelato and avoid taking that fake ice cream as a result. I'm going to hand the reins over to my dear friend Celeste, a local food guide, who's going to give you a bit more information on how you can spot an authentic gelato compared to the fake stuff.
So there's 3 things you're going to want to check. Number 1 is the color.
So if I want strawberry, I'm not going for the bright pink, like Hail Mary. It's bright pink, it must be strawberry.
Yes. Number 2 is the presentation. They love presenting it like it's the Rocky Mountains where it really comes out of the cases. You can't do that. Gelato is incredibly sensitive to temperature. If you freeze it too cold, it's an uncomfortable feeling in your mouth, and if it's not cold enough, it's going to be melting. And third one is, like you said, the structure. Those are 2 different elements. First of all, you want it to be a little bit like sorbet. A lot of people think that it's supposed to be creamy, but that is ice cream. That's actually the difference between the 2 of them.
Ready for tip number 4? This is all about mix and matching your itinerary. Do not, if possible, avoid at all costs. Do not book the Colosseum and the Vatican in the same day. You will live to regret it. So many people make the same mistakes. The reason for this is what you want to do is mix and match your itinerary. You want to mix popular attractions with lesser known attractions, and you want to match the activities in the same area for a single day. Let's take Monte. Obviously, the main attraction in Monte is the Colosseum. Say you're going to be booking the guided tour. That's 3 hours that you're committing to going around. 3-hour tour commitment, a lot of information, and if you're visiting in the summer, chances are you're going to get a lot hot and sweaty during that trip. The best thing you can do at this point is visit the Colosseum in the morning, take a break in Monte for lunch, head down to one of those side streets, remember, top tip that came earlier on. And after that, you want to go and explore a lesser-known attraction. This could be Duomo Aurea. You've got to the panoramic view of Altare della Patria. It gives you the chance and the opportunity to really explore and get to know a neighbourhood. There's no reason why you can't then spend the following day visiting Prati. Maybe the day after you want to head over to one of the lesser-known neighbourhoods like Coppide, or check out the ever-popular Trastevere. Now we're deciding, knowing when to book the right experience. Let's take Rome for example. The best thing you can consider is the high traction POIs. For this we mean the Colosseum, the Vatican and Borghese. You're going to want to book in advance. Fair enough, Borghese probably isn't as visited as the Vatican and the Colosseum. However, the ticket inventory is somewhat limited there, so for that reason we're including this in the big 3. When it comes to booking these 3 monuments, you want to book in advance in order to have the most flexibility and choice. Booking in advance gives you more options in terms of tours, or ticket. It gives you more flexibility in terms of the time of day that you're visiting too. For all other attractions, be it Cavallini Museums, Castle St. Angelo, even the zoo in Rome, or the Baths of Calcutta, Headout's pretty much got you covered. We specialise in last-minute availability, and we'll be sure to drop that link down below so you can see all of the other activities for the lesser-known attractions right here in the Eternal City. So, this brings us on to tip number 6, which is understanding the general structure of a week in Italy. Let's take the Vatican as an example. The Vatican is closed every Sunday. Now, you might be thinking, Vatican's closed on Sunday? No problem, I'm just going to head over to the Colosseum. Congratulations! You and about 20,000 other tourists have had the exact same idea. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I'll go to the Vatican midweek. Again, could be a good idea, but maybe not. At this point, you want to consider that on Wednesday mornings, the Pope does a speech from St. Peter's Square. Now, if seeing the Pope speak is on your bucket list, perfect opportunity for you is to head to the Vatican St. Peter's Square in the morning, see the Pope, and book a tour for the museums in the afternoon, getting you access to the Sistine Chapel. The issue, however, is bear in mind that Wednesday afternoons, a lot of people are going to be doing this. Realistically, if we take these 2 points into consideration, the best day for visiting the Vatican museums would be either Tuesday or a Thursday. Alternatively, to visit the Colosseum, the better days are going to be Mondays or Fridays, avoiding those weekend crowds, but also adjusting your trip based on the general structure of Rome's week. Water, it's free. The great thing about Rome is that water for residents and tourists is free across the city. This is thanks to the aqueduct. The aqueducts are based just outside of the city centre, but they freely flow water into the city. You even have the opportunity to choose between still or sparkling. It's perfect. Make sure you bring a water bottle with you. Listen up, ladies, this one is for you. Blotting papers are now your new best friend, an absolute essential to have in your purse throughout the entirety of your trip to Rome. Why? Here's the thing, if you're a girl, to be fair, it could happen for males too, and you're exploring Rome, the chances are you're going to want some fabulous, iconic, gorgeous photos of Rome to put on your Instagram. The problem is there's one sure thing that will ruin any fire outfit and gorgeous background, and that's going to be a sweaty belly face. Always pack blotting papers in your purse. They take out the grease, cut out the shine, which gives you that matte look, and look 10 out of 10 for your holiday photos. We're staying in the summer season here, so it might not ring true for winter or the shoulder seasons. But if you're traveling in summer, one of the most essential items to pack in your wardrobe is going to be a shawl. Look, I get it, it's hot. You're going to be comfortable probably walking around in shorts and a strappy top. Completely understandable. Just bear in mind, Rome is full of religious sites, like the Vatican, definitely a few basilicas, and even the catacomb. In most places, you're going to need to have your shoulders and your knees covered. Having a shawl is perfect. It's lightweight, you can throw it in your bag, you can use it to tie up your hair, and you can take it out, cover your shoulders when you're going into these sites. It gives you the best of both worlds. You can stay and agree with all of the dress codes, and you can also have the flexibility to walk around Rome in the shorter clothing when you're outside of these places. And this brings us to the last tip, tip number 10. A lot of places in Rome offer flexible entrances or reduced rates for children. It could be under 6 at the Vatican. Less than 6, you don't require a reservation for a ticket. At the Colosseum, if you're under 18, you don't require a ticket and you get free entrance. The problem is, in both these sites, you need to prove that you're under 18 or under 6 in order to benefit from these experiences. In order to do that, they are going to be checking your IDs when you enter. I'm not saying you have to take your passport out of the hotel with you, but a photograph of your passport or a photocopy of your passport will be more than sufficient. The other thing to bear in mind is in Italy, it's actually a legal requirement to always have ID on you. Granted, this is scarcely enforced with public, especially not with tourists, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you're traveling with a family, just scan everything, keep photographs on your phone, or have photocopied documents of everyone in the family just to be on the safe side. Okay guys, so that about wraps it up. We've gone through the 10 main tips from a local's point of view for exploring the Eternal City. I hope you found these tips useful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification button. And let us know if there's anything else you want to check out next. Have a great day. This is Sarah from Headout. Catch you next time.